morning, everybody. How are you doing? Hope you had a good weekend. We got some fun stuff to talk about today. So first thing, though, is finally we've hit the bottom of the bear market, right? And we've got a golden cross for those of you that do technical trading. We've got a golden cross, so that means that's when the 50 over the 50 moving average
Hey, Mike,
crosses the 200-day. Oh, sorry.
What happened there? I'm still seeing the pointer finger.
Well, let me see. I clicked clean screen. Just clicked. Yeah, no, that's right. I wanted the pointer finger.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were pulling a chart.
No. So we've had a golden cross. So that we're a 50 average moving day average crosses 200. So every time we have a golden cross, that means that we've now gone into bull market territory. Is that right, guys? Those of you who do technical trading. No. 75% of the time it works, 25% of the time it doesn't work. And when will you find out whether it's working or not working? When it's what? Too late. So I just want, again, right now, the main press is acting like what? Most advisors are acting like what? We've seen the bottom. Hey, now we've got lower inflation. We had better growth than we thought last quarter. So obviously we're out of the bad times, we're into the good times, right? So see how far GMOs, Grantham expects stocks to fall in 2023. GMO, a small entity or a huge entity? Successful or not successful? The first and easiest leg of the bursting the bubble is complete, Jeremy Grantham wrote in his commentary. Renowned market bear Jeremy Grantham, long-term investment strategist and money manager at GMO, hasn't changed his stripes. The first and easiest leg of the bursting bubble is complete. The most speculative growth stocks that led the market on the way up have been crushed. So have some of the most speculative stocks like Tesla, like a lot of the big, like Facebook, a lot of those, have they been crushed? Yes, they have been. A large chunk of the total losses across the markets we expect to see have already occurred. Now the forecasting gets a little trickier. While the most extreme frost has been wiped off the market, valuations are still nowhere near long-term averages. And he's not just saying that he's saying that they're still way overvalued. The trailing S&P 500 price earnings ratio recently stood at 20.84 compared to 15.99, which is normally the average. And in the past, PE ratio is overcorrected to below. So when it goes way up, when we're way, and has the PE been way over the average for many years now? Yes. So when it corrects, does it just go to average or does it go below the average so we get a reversion to mean? Again, I'm talking a lot of technical trading here, so I apologize to those guys that aren't into technical trading, but it goes below, so we get back to a reversion of mean. PE ratio is overcorrected, correct to below as fundamentals deteriorated. Such an outcome still remains highly likely, but given the complexities of an ever-changing world, investors should have far less certainty about the timing and extent of the next leg down from here. So he's just saying it's going to go down. We just don't know what. When. So bear market may get delayed. Factors that could cause a delay in the bear market include subsiding inflation. We're seeing that. Continued strength in job market. We're seeing that. A reopening of the Chinese economy, that could be argued. But yeah, so it could be delayed, but he's saying that it's still what? Way overvalued. How significantly corporate fundamentals deteriorate will mean everything during the next 12 to 18 months. Grantham predicts the S&P 500 will end the year around 3,200, down 20% from the recent level. Now, guys, I've had three different Wall Street giants, and they're all right around what? In the last month, I've shown two others, so three Grantham and the two other Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, their top stock pickers, their top money managers, and they all said what? Down to 3,000 to 3,200. So there's a lot of people who are in the know that are hitting about the same level, they're saying. As for long-term issues in declining population, raw material shortages, and rising damage from climate change are beginning to bite hard on growth aspects. The resource and geopolitical shocks of last year will only exacerbate those issues. And guys, do we have any geopolitical shocks that could happen this year? How many? Too many to count on my fingers. And over the next few years, given the change in interest rate environment, the possibility of downturn in global property markets, poses frightening risks for the economy. So again, all I'm saying is what? Run from stocks or have a good balanced portfolio of stocks and FIAs. 60-40, 50-50, 40-60, 30-70, whatever it may be, have a balanced portfolio. And should we have any money in bonds at this point, guys? No, no, no. So I want today to talk about how you can map your success for the next year. So here's what people think success looks like. You have a big idea, somebody gives you money, you build it, and overnight success. Is that what happens? How many years did I wallow in the swamp before I finally hit success? Well, first of all, I was 34 years old. I was basically a loser until I was 34 years old. Even in this industry, I wallowed 8 years before I finally had success. So this is what it actually looks like. You start, you work really hard, be insecure a lot, get lots of help, fail a lot, life happens, and then it seems like you have overnight success. Because when I finally hit it, guess what? I mean, going from 50,000, 50,000, 50,000, 8 years in a row, and then going from 50,000 to 350,000 in income, 667, and then almost $1 million of income in 3 years, that is almost like overnight success, isn't it? And so, but it wasn't like that. I had to struggle for 8 years to get to that point. In fact, when they've looked at billionaires, what's the number one thing, what's the number one characteristic that they found about all billionaires? What's the number one characteristic they found all billionaires? They all failed. They all failed multiple times. Now, there's a thing, though. There's a specific thing. You cannot just fail. Failing is not going to help you. They failed at the same business. So for me, I failed for 8 years in a row till I finally figured it out. You can't jump from dry cleaning to being a restaurateur to being a software company to being no. If you want to be successful, just like look at Steve Jobs. How many times did he fail before he succeeded? How many times did Edison with the light bulb fail? He didn't jump from a light bulb to a this to that to that. He kept going at that one thing. So what breeds success is you keep doing the same thing over and over and over. But when you fail, you learn from it, make changes, try again, fail, make changes, try again, fail, make changes, try again. That's how you do it. Success is not overnight. It's when every day you get a little bit better than the day before. It all adds up. A lot better or a little better? A little better. But then it's funny. When you get a little better, all of a sudden after a year, you're 300% better, and it seems like you have overnight success because at the end of the year, boom, your income goes straight through the roof. So how to fail at almost everything and still win big, the kind of the story of my life. First of all, forget setting goals. Focus on this instead. What should you focus on instead of goals? See how many of you remember. I've talked about this before. Tom's got it. Nick's got it. Bert's got it. Artie's got it. Good, you guys. Yeah, because if I set goals, here's the thing. I'm going to make $1 million this year. By March, I'm only at 75,000, and what do I do with my $1 million goal then? By March, I say what? Screw it. Throw it out. I'll start again next January. So setting goals. Do you have any control over how much money you're going to make this month, this week? No. You have no control over that. Why? Because you don't know when people are going to give you money. There are things that but there are things you have control over. What are the kind of things you have control over? So you don't want goals, you want systems. And systems are made of things you do have control over. Goals versus systems. Systems so systems are things that you have control over. Do you have control over how many times you pick up the phone? Can you control that? Everybody answer that. Do you have control over how many times you pick up the phone? Yes. Do you have control over whether the people on the other side pick up the phone on the other side? No. See, but you do know, based on large numbers, If I call so many times, I'll get a hold of this many people. Of this many people, I'll have this many conversations. And of this many conversations, I'll write this much business. So you work backwards from those numbers and decide how many times do I have to pick up the phone based on history to make a sale? Well, I have to make 250 phone calls to make a sale. Well, then you have control over the 250 phone calls. You don't have control over which one of those 250 people will buy from you. So if I'm focusing on a goal of making money, do I have any control over that? No. I don't know which one of those 250 people are going to do business, but I do have control over how many phone calls I make. Does that make sense? So you should look at, do I have control over how many seminars that I do this year? Webinars I do this year? Do I have control over how many times I ask for referrals this year? Do I have control over how many 21 lights I do this year? Guys, if you've already done a 21 light with your client, can you do another 21 light with your client? Yes, in fact, every year you should be doing what? A 21 client with your 21 light with your clients. Why? How many people actually do the survivor's guide? How many people actually do the property casualty checklist? How many people actually do the identity theft booklet when you give it to them? Very few. Very few. So you want recovering it every single year is good. And do they get mad at you when you cover it? No, it's like this. If I'm 400 pounds and I go to the doctor and he says, man, you got high blood pressure, you got beginnings of diabetes, you got some heart things going on, you need to change your diet and you need to work out more. And then is he going to show up the next day and do that stuff and make sure, cook me breakfast and go on a jog with me? No, he's not. So he's going to tell me what I need to do, facilitate that in a nice, friendly, professional manner, but he's not going to be there to do that for me. But next year, if I walk into his office until I have 400 pounds, what's he going to do all over again? Dude. You've got prediabetes, you've got high blood pressure, and you've got heart disease. So you need to change your diet. So he's going to do it every single day, and you should too. So I control over certain things. Now, here's what I would say for a system. Start every day with a 15-minute drill. Do you have control whether you do a 15-minute drill every day or not? Yes. Yet, if I was to walk into your office, how many 15-minute drills did you do last week? And this is based on 23 years of coaching, guys. Guess how many of you guys are doing 15-minute drills a day, every single day? Not very many of you. Why? Why do you not do them? I know why. Couple of reasons. One is, do you see immediate results from doing a 15-minute drill? Do you make money from doing a 15-minute drill? Yes, but over time. But do you see it immediately? No, you don't. So I get it. But, all the big things in life, do we see immediate success when we go to the gym for the first time? Do we see immediate success when we have one day on a diet? No, we don't have immediate success, but it's building. It's what builds. It's the little things we said. The little things build up to big things in the future. The other reason people don't like to do 15-minute drills is because if you're reviewing your own tapes, are you going to be saying, man, I'm awesome. I could never improve. I did that perfectly. Is that what you're saying when you're doing those tapes? What are you doing? You're finding things you could do better. Introspection, right? You're finding things you could do better. And here's the thing with that. The reason I went from making 50 grand a year to 350 that in 1 year is I started to listen to my tapes every single day. In fact, I didn't do a 15-minute drill. I did an hour and a half drills. I would listen to whole meetings. And what I found out is I wasn't as good a salesman. Everybody I was telling me, you're a good salesman, you're a good salesman. No. I was a good debater. I was not a good salesman. I was telling, selling, preaching, teaching, telling people what they need to do, making sure they understood I was smarter than them. That did not make me a good salesman. That made me a good debater. I won every argument, lost every deal. So I had to find, and here's the nice thing about doing that. When I finally find out that I was the problem, that was for me freeing. Why? Can I control a client and what they think and do? No. Can I control interest rates? Can I control the stock market? Can I control whether we're at war or not? Can I control anything? No, there's only one thing I can control. What is that? Me. So when I started to listen to these tapes and do 15-minute drills, and I would, like I said, I did 1.5 hour drills every day, I could actually improve. I could take care of, I could change, I could make things happen because it was me. I'm in control of me. If you did 15-minute drills every day, how awesome, and not just listening, but actually working on something. Remember how you did 15-minute drills. You find one thing in a conversation with somebody, and then you work on it over and over and over. For example, if I see that I told somebody, hey, the market's going to go down in the next 3 months. No, that's a statement. We don't tell. We say, what do you think will happen in the market? And I'll replay the tape. Instead of saying that, I'm going to say, which direction do you think the market would go? Why do you think that's the case? Then I would replay the tape, and I keep doing open with that one sentence. Open for 15 minutes. How good will I be at that point if I do that? Because I would probably be able to do that in 15 minutes, maybe 100 times. So if I do that 100 times, how often will I make a mistake at that particular part of the meeting anymore? Never. So doing a 15-minute drill makes you a little bit better. By the end of the year, you're better. You've done 200 of these. You're awesome. Does that make sense? And you have control of that. What would happen to your business if you didn't answer the phones when you got in, didn't get a cup of coffee when you got in, didn't look at your email? Would anything happen to your business if for the first 15 minutes you didn't look at your email, did not listen to voicemail, did not get a coffee, did not read your news, your Wall Street Journal, what would happen to your business? Nothing. But you know what's happening to your business by not doing the 15-minute drill? It's not hurting you. It's just not what? Helping you. See, when guys come on, they say, I've been in business for 30 years. How many years of experience does somebody who's been in business for 30 years have? Yeah, 3 or 4, that's right. Because they're doing the same thing. Maybe they learned a little bit better for their first 3 or 4 years, but now they've been doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over for years. If you're doing a 15-minute drill every day for 30 years, how awesome would that person be? Would there be a single person that would not buy from that person if they've been doing a 15-minute drill for 30 years? No. So do those 15-minute drills. Do emails and voicemails only 3 times a day. Why? Why should you do voicemails and emails only 3 times a day? Because if you're doing them all day long, are you doing anything productive? They are a time suck. If you do them all the time, you need to segment them, because it's amazing when you say, I'm going to do them in the morning, after I do my 15-minute drill, I'm going to do my emails and voicemails at noon, either before lunch or after lunch, and then before I leave. If you do them all day long, guess what you're going to end up at the end of the day? Guess what you've gotten done? Basically, just going to be answering emails all day long. Going to be answering voicemails only 3 times a day. Do you have control over this? Yes. Do you have control over this? Ignore emails that will not increase your business. So how many times are you solicited from other FMOs, sales organizations, marketing organizations? How many times are you solicited on a daily basis? A lot or rarely? Yeah, you get a lead. I've got too many. I've got 1 or 2. I've got 4 or 5. Yes, you get solicited. So here's the thing. Is there any perfect marketing organization in the world, including ours? No. Who's in charge of whether you're going to be successful or not? You are. So I don't know if we're any better than any other marketing organization, but I will tell you that our system works 100% of the time. We've got 60,000. We quit archiving recordings here about 5-6 years ago. But even up to 5 or 6 years ago, we still have 60,000. Right now, we probably have 100,000 tapes of when people use our scripts. Guess what? They work. Not mostly, not kinda, but 100% of the time. And why do we only have a 94% closing ratio? Because the other 6% of the time, the client wouldn't work with us, or the advisor said, I don't want to work with you. So don't be chasing emails, reading emails on social media. Do that on your off time. Follow through with clients. After the appointment, follow through. When they become a client, follow through with a thank you gift. After making a marketing contact, follow through. Give them what the things they wanted. All of my clients and prospects are in epidemic drip. Do I have control over whether I'm sending out my epidemic drip email, hard letter every single month? Yes. Have 3 or 4 types of marketing going on all the time. Do I have control over that? Yes. Do regular tape interviews, not just the 15-minute drill, but the whole tape reviews with myself. I'd be happy to do a tape review with you. Or if you don't want to do it with me, do it with yourself. Be on every coaching call. Do the Wednesday tape breakdown that we do every other week. Make sure your calendar is full. Empty hours equals empty pockets. So guys, are all these things 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Do I have control over all these things? Yeah, I can do all these things. If you did all these things, how successful do you think you would be? I'll guarantee you, it would then come down to the amount of hours you want to work. If you want to work 20 hours a week, you'd be making between $500,000 and $800,000 a year. If you work 40 hours a week, you'd be making between $1 and $2 million a year. So if you're not making that, it's why? Because you're doing what? And when I say empty hours, I know you guys work hard, but what do you, I've talked about this before. For somebody who tells me they work hard and they're not making over $1 million a year, they're working 40 hours a week, working hard, not making $1 million a year. Do I tell them they're not working hard? Never, 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 never. What I do is what? Say, okay, let's do this. Let's figure this out because you're working hard. I trust you. I know your work ethic. You are working hard. For 1 week, get a calendar that maps every hour. So 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12. And I want you to write down, have a little timer that beeps at the top of every hour. Write down what you did that past hour. Write down what you did the past hour. Write down what you did that past hour. And at the end of that week, you're going to look at those 40 things. And what do I find? Not me. What do they find? Those 40 hours, how many of those 40 hours are doing any of these things? Most of the hours are virtually none of them. Instead, what were they doing? Here's the big thing I heard. It falls into a big category. Doing research. Research. Should any of you be doing research at this point in your career? What could you possibly be researching? Trying to find the best money manager? Is there a best money manager out there, guys? Is there a best money management system out there? No, there's not. So 2 things you control. Coral, do you know why stickers never fail? Because they stick to the plan. Stick to the plan, Coral. You've got a 21. You get a 21. You get a 20. Everyone you see should get a 21. And the better you do the 21, the better you're going to get. And guys, we're basically the McDonald's. We're the McDonald's of the industry. And some guys don't like it. They like it to treat every client differently. They like to kind of wing it. They like to develop things. I get it. That's scratching your creative itch. You got a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and you want to help these people to their highest degree. You don't want cookie cutter. So here's what I ask people when they first come, when they tell me that. Okay, emergency room surgeons, they save lives. They are a true doctor. They don't know what's coming in today. Heart attack, gunshot wound, get run over by a snowcat. They have no clue what's going to come in, and they save lives. And every night they go in, it's different. It's adrenaline. It's rewarding. I get it. Then you have a plastic surgeon, and all they do is they do a boob job, they do a nose job, and they do a tummy tuck. Every single day they come in, they know they're going to do a nose job. And some of these plastic surgeons only do nose jobs. Some of them only do boob jobs. I mean, they do the same thing over and over and over and over. Boring. They're not saving lives. But here's the thing. Would you rather earn what an emergency room surgeon earns or doctor, or what a cosmetic surgeon earns? Which one? Emergency room or plastic surgeon? Who makes more? By a lot. Plastic surgeons, cosmetic surgeons. Do you want the schedule of an emergency room doctor having to work nights, weekends, always on call, or do you want the guy who works 9 to 5 every single day? So you have to make a decision. I want to work harder than everybody else does. I want to, for that adrenaline, and make less than everybody else does so I can get that adrenaline flow, or I'm going to do the same thing over and over and over. And are these, hey, these people that he saves, I tell you what, some of them, are they not even grateful? Are they not even grateful when he saves them? Some of them are very, very grateful, but he saves other people, and are they grateful? No. But every time this guy does a great nose job or a boob job, how grateful are those people? So this is us. We do the same thing over and over and over, and all our clients love us. So the 3 keys to success are: ask open-ended questions, or do it the easy way and learn the script. Don't come up with your own, just do the ones I give you. They work 100% of the time. Here's the great thing, guys. If they don't work, what should you do? If you use my scripts and they do not work, it's awesome. It's so easy for you, because what you should do is call me and say, Mike, you're a big fat liar. You said this would work and it does not work. Here, listen to this tape. Now, how often has that happened to me in 23 years? Tens of thousands of meetings. How often has that happened? Never. Never. See, guys, you have the key to the kingdom. Be awesome at guys. Be awesome at, when they answer your questions, getting on their sides, aping them, agreeing, parroting, empowering them. I always get the client to say the motive. In the 21-point checklist, you got to get them to say why the advisor did that. And I get it. Everybody says, that's hard. It is hard until what? Every skill is hard until you do it enough times, then it becomes what? Hard skills become what? Easy. Because you know what, to me, what is hard? Learning the scripts is not hard. Developing the system was not hard. You know what's hard to me? When I got in front of 300 people, I did 101 case analysis, got in front of $34 million, and I only closed $800,000 because all that other $34 million went back to their current advisor. That, to me, was hard. Learning the scripts became what? Not hard, easy, because I was sick of this happening to me. See, the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that extra little you do, that 15-minute drill. If you do the 15-minute drills 5 days a week, would you get 2% better at your skills in that week? So you've invested a total of what? An hour and 15 minutes. An hour and 15 minutes, and you get 2% better that week. Now, if you get 2% better compounded over a year, you're not up 100%. You're up 200, almost 300% in your skill level. If your skill level was 300% better than it is right now, would your life be different, guys? If your skill level was 300%, 200%, even 100% double what it was right now, would your life be different? Would you be making more money? Would you be, if you chose, would you be working making the same money and working less? Because if you have that kind of skill level, you'll close everybody. So use point systems instead of goals. Points, and we're still early enough in the year you can do this. So I'll give you a couple of examples of my guys that are 15 million plus producers, okay? This is one of them. He wants 600 points a month. So he gives himself 100 points for a seminar, 20 points for a lunch or breakfast with a referral source, like an attorney, property casualty agent, a Medicare agent, accountant. 20 points for lunch or breakfast with them, 10 points for a networking function, 5 points for asking a client for a referral, 5 points for lunch with a client or breakfast with a client. Only 2 points for case prep. So guess how efficient he is at guys, remember, I used to run 30 appointments a week, and I would get all of my case prep done on Saturday morning between 5 and 8. So in 3 hours, I did all my case prep. When I was running 30 appointments a week, I did all my case prep in 3 hours. Why could I do it that quickly? First of all, I was doing the same thing over and over and over again. Second of all, when you do it often enough and you do the same thing over and over again, you get good at it. 1 point for a client check-in, 5 points for an hour review tape, 2 minutes for a 15-minute drill. This guy, what? When he gets 600 points a month, is he better every single month doing this? Is he getting better every month if he's doing this? Here's another example. So there is no perfect way to do it. You decide. So this guy advisor wants 1,200 points per month. 50 for a seminar, 50 for a client event like a focus group or a Christmas-sized tour or a client barbecue, whatever it may be. 50 for birthday lunches. This is a system in our low-cost marketing, birthday lunches with a client. You give themselves 50 points for a birthday lunch. Maintenance calls, 5 points. Prospecting calls, post-color quarterly newsletters, 5 points. Calling clients with new sales ideas, 15 points. So not just checking in, but actually having an idea for them, 15 points. Calling prospects, 20 points. Prospect appointments, 20 points. Preparing for a second appointment for a 20-point checklist of preparation, 10 points. Client annual reviews, 20 points. Marketing, using his different low-cost marketing. He had 1, 2, 3 different low-cost marketing, 10 points, 10 points, 10 points. Call to action marketing, call to action, call to action. Following up on a call to action, 20 points. And then he gave himself a little working out, 10 points. Is he in control of these things, guys? Is he in control of these things? And when they did these things that they were in control of, 15 million or more in production. So there is no perfect. How many employees do these guys have? 2. That's what I had. I had 2. I had a receptionist and I had Missy. And today, I wouldn't even have a receptionist. Guess what I would have? What would I have instead of a receptionist? So I would still have only 1 employee. So when I was running 30 appointments a week, I had a receptionist and I had Missy. That's it. How could I run it? How could I run a business, $1 million a year income with a receptionist and an assistant? Why? Why could I do that, guys? I just told you not 10 minutes ago. Systems, yes. And what kind of systems? How many things were on my menu? How many things was I offering people? One thing, Artie, and what was I offering them? 21-point checklist. And then they went and guess what everybody got? Product-wise, they got an FIA and they got an S&P 500. FIA, S&P 500. And guess how many of those people have come back to me still today? I haven't even been in business at a personal production for 30 years. I still have guys today that I will run into. Now it's only maybe once or twice a year where they'll say, you know what you did when you did that for me in the late 90s, my friends thought I was an idiot for going with you and investing in an FIA. But you know what? I have more money than them now. I have more money than the guys that chastise me for going with an annuity. You know, you're capping your income, you're capping your growth. But because those other guys lived through 2000, 2008, the COVID, my clients that got an FIA 30 years ago have more money than people who are invested with money management for those 30 years. So they're happy. I only offer one thing. That's why I could do it that quickly. Does that make sense? Good. So guys, there is no perfect point system, but your point system, what you want to do is reverse engineer it. Okay, how many seminars? You say, I want to make so much per year. I want to make $1 million this year, or I want to make $500,000 this year. Say, okay, over the last year when I brought on a client, how much did I make? Well, if you only made $1,000 per client, then you need what? 500 new clients. If you made 2,000, you need 250 new clients. If you made $5,000, you need 100 new clients. Okay, now that I make an average of 5,000 per client, I need 100 new clients. Well, how many new clients did I bring on per workshop? Okay, well, I brought on 5 new clients from a workshop. Okay, that means I need to do 20 workshops. See, you work backwards from that. Work backwards from where your clients came, how many of the things that you need to do, whether it's a workshop, whether it's referrals, whether it's whatever. Work backwards, and that will tell you how many of those things you need. And then that's going to tell you how you give it points. Does that make sense? So I can't create because you're all different closing ratio wise, size of your client wise, because you know what? If you do seminars, your client size is going to be bigger. If you do leads, it's going to be smaller. So I can't just come up with a one-size-fits-all point system. You should do your own point system, and it should all be things you are in control of. Nice thing about this, let's say that this point system is not giving me enough income after a first quarter. What can I do? What can I do? Change these numbers, modify it, right? Does that make sense? So please don't do goals, do systems. And how you do systems is you give yourself now what you should do then. And here's how I kept myself when I was, because I gave myself point system too. I had a point system as well. And here's what I did. I came up with a at the end of the month, because any day can get off track, right? Can any day get off track, just go off the rails, where I don't get anything done? Can that happen? But will that happen every day for a month? No. So what I did is on a monthly basis, if I didn't hit my goals, and this is what, and these two guys actually did the same thing. They followed my guide. Is you find a charity that you loathe, the thing that they represent you loathe for whatever reason. If you're a Democrat, it'd be the Republican National Committee. If you're a Republican, it'd be the Democrat National Committee, or any other type of thing that you want to come up with. And if you don't hit these goals at the end of the month, you send that entity a $100 check. That charity that you hate, the charity that you loathe, the charity that you would just assume run over rather than see them if you saw them in the middle of the road, you write them a check for $100. Guess how often you're going to miss? Now you have to get buy into this. You have to have a partner who's going to make you do this. So you don't give yourself a bunch of excuses at the end of the month. You have to do this. And these guys did it, and guess what? They never wrote a check. I had wrote one check myself. So does that make sense? That's how you get good. So on our journey through the 21-point checklist training video, we're going to talk about VA fees today. But I do want to point out, if you go to Library, Audio Video School, you go to the 21-point checklist process, fees, we have money management fees tutorial, we have B&C shares tutorial, we have a REIT tutorial. So we have all the types of things you're going to run into, but today we're just going to do the VA fees. But you do have tutorials for money management fees, REITs, and mutual funds, okay? So we have everything you may run into, we've got it here, okay? But today we're going to do the money management. So let me get escape, and then I'm going to go to VA fees. So now we've gone from titling, their company was taking advantage of me. Beneficiaries, my guy doesn't care about me. Now we're going to, not only does my guy not care about me, he's withholding information and screwing me. That's what we're going to. Am I going to say a bad word about their advisor? No. I'm going to make the client. So here we go. We also learned that you may be paying some unnecessary account fees. Now, are you the kind of people that like things straight or sugar-coated?
No, straight.
Straight. So now this fee, actually you have, these unnecessary fees are coming from three primary places, okay? We're going to talk about all three separately. Do you want to know what those places are?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, super. So before we do that, I forgot to ask you, I did find that you have a $5,000 paid up life insurance policy. Mm-hmm. So if it's paid up, that means you're paying how much every year?
Nothing.
Nothing. So makes sense to keep it?
Oh, yeah.
Darn tootin', right? And then they can use that for what?
Burial expenses, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So am I saying life insurance is bad here, or having him say life insurance is bad here? I'm saying, hey, life insurance is okay if it's already paid up. It's what? It's good. Am I saying have him say life insurance is bad? No, it's good when it's what? When you know about it and when it's appropriate. But then I'm going to get him to say he does not want more life insurance. And I'm going to make him say it over and over and over again. If he says over and over and over he does not want more life insurance, can he 5 minutes from now say, oh, wait, I was wrong. I do want more life insurance? No. He'd be a fool. Yeah. So it makes sense to keep that. But do you want to buy some more insurance now?
No.
I mean, is your home paid off?
Yes.
So do you need it for that?
Nope.
Kids still at home and
No.
and taking you're still giving them an allowance every?
No.
Okay,
No,
their college is paid.
Yep.
Okay, so do you want to leave a rich spouse?
No, not really.
So, is there any reason for you to have life insurance at this point?
No.
More, the $5,000 perfect anymore.
No.
And if you did, how much would that cost?
Oh, I'm sure it would be expensive.
It would be expensive, right? So, can you find other uses for money at this point rather than buying life?
Yeah.
So, it's super. Now, if you were going to buy, well, first of all, the first account I want to talk about is your variable annuity.
Mm-hmm.
And when we looked at that, I mean, it looks like it's doing okay. I mean, in the last 10 years, how's it done?
It's done pretty well.
And now I'm going to let them tell me how great VAs are. I'm not going to say that there are good things about variable annuities. I'm going to say, let's talk about the good things about variable annuities. So I'm not going to say variable annuities are evil. I'm going to say, hey, they're good. They got this thing, this thing, this thing. I totally agree. I'm sorry, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to have him say it. I'm going to agree with him. But then we're going to get into things that they don't tell you. So I'm not going to say that the way he was sold it was wrong. I'm going to say that it's just half of the story was left off. So that's what we're doing here. And do I sound reasonable when I do that? If I come in there and say, VAs are horrible, VAs are the Satan spawn, if I keep doing that, then do I sound reasonable? No. But by saying, hey, this thing has some good points, and then we go into the bad points, do I seem like a reasonable balance, reasonable and balanced exploration of their situation? Yes. That's why we do that.
Well,
It's done very well, right?
Mhm,
And the last
yeah.
And they have 34 accounts in there. Does that
Mhm.
seem like a pretty good choice of 34 accounts?
oh yeah, that's a lot.
It's covering. I mean, it's got a lot of good managed in there. It's got a lot of good choices in there. And have you ever had to move the accounts around at all inside there?
I think we've done it in the past, not often.
Okay, but do you remember? Did they charge you or not charge you?
I don't know. They didn't charge.
They don't.
No.
So is that a good thing?
Oh yeah.
And are you hit with taxes every time you make a move?
No.
No. So all in all, performed well, easy to use, good thing or bad thing?
That's a good thing in my
It is a good thing.
So have I gone through a thumbnail analysis of all the good things of VAs, the way it was sold to them? Have I just done a summary of the way it was sold to them? And I'm saying what? All those things are what? Good or bad? All those things are good things. No argument.
Right? So now, if I wanted to buy a car and I wanted the best car possible, would I go to the Ford website or would I go to the Consumer Reports or Kelley Blue Book, something like that?
You'd go to.
Now, the reason I'm doing this is I used to, again, the reason these scripts are so good is because I modified them to eliminate all objections. The objection I used to get is after I would show them Morningstar, all these things, they would start to disagree with me about Morningstar. So I have to have them tell me up front, Morningstar is terrific, it's believable, it's third party, we're going to believe what they say. You have to do it beforehand, because if you wait till afterwards, they may say, well, I don't trust Morningstar. Who are they? Obviously, they have a bone to pick. I don't want them to do that. So I have them tell me up front, I overcome the objection before it becomes an objection. So they're going to tell me Morningstar is 100% believable, so they can't argue that point afterwards. So here we go.
Consumer Reports or Kelley Blue Book.
Right. And because if I went to the Ford and said, what's the best car, what's Ford going to say?
Oh, Ford.
Ford? Why do I go to Consumer Reports then?
Because they're just going to give you more accurate information.
More
They're
accurate.
just going to compare better.
Yeah. So it's kind of, is it better to go to a first party like Ford or a third party resource like Consumer Reports?
Better to go to a third party.
Do they care what kind of car you buy?
No, they don't care.
They're just giving you what?
Just the information.
Information. If we found out they were in bed with Ford and were pushing people towards Ford, what would happen to their whole business?
Oh, they'd go under.
Yeah. So if we're truly looking for unbiased information, we go to
Third party.
Yeah, third party. And for investment third party, we use Morningstar.
Okay.
So have you ever heard of Morningstar?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Okay, good. So and Morningstar gives you more information than you would ever need or want. Let me give you an example on your variable annuity.
Okay.
So does this look like a lot of information?
Yeah, that looks like a lot. Yeah.
So the first thing we want to talk about is some of the expenses of your account, these fees.
Okay.
This M&E, mortality and expense risk, is 1.5% a year.
Right.
So have you ever heard of mortality and expense?
No, not really.
Okay. Mortality and expense is, if I can find, perfect, we can do it right there. So mortality and expenses, do you remember when you were first sold this, they said that if your accounts ever go down
Mm-hmm.
and it causes you a heart attack and you die, guess what they're going to do for your loved ones?
Make them whole.
Make them whole. That's the mortality and
Okay.
expense. Okay, so right now you have 3,011, and see if I can get this right here to catch up with you. Oh, I guess not, to catch up this way. So you have 311,874. Does that sound about right for what you have in that account?
Yep.
Okay. So do me a favor
Okay.
and multiply 311.
Oops.
So we'll clear up here. 311,874, and multiply that times 1.5%. Oh, you hit zero there. Yep, that's okay. So let's clear it. 311,874 times 1.5, and we'll hit the percent button. What's that end up being?
$4,078.
$4,700.
4,078.
Okay, 4078.
Yep.
Okay.
And 11 cents.
Okay. 4,078. Okay. So that's the mortality and expense fee.
Okay.
And we said, again, that's for if your account goes down, they're going to make your loved ones what?
They'll make them whole.
Yeah. So could this account go down by 30,000?
It could.
Well, in the past, I mean, do we have market corrections?
Yep.
Which is why you maybe got this mortality and expense charge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that if it goes down $30,000, and they said at your death, they're going to do what for your loved ones?
They're going to make it whole.
Yeah. So when a life insurance company, which is who your variable annuity is with, when you die, they give your loved ones a death benefit. What do we call that?
Well, that's life insurance.
That's life insurance. And you said you did or did not want more life insurance.
Well, we didn't.
But what do you have?
We have life insurance.
Yes. And if you're going to buy life insurance, we said life insurance is either cheap or expensive.
It would be expensive.
Yeah, there's only one kind of life insurance that's more expensive than life insurance at your age. Guess what kind that is?
This life insurance?
Well, $4,000 covering $30,000 of life insurance. Does that seem expensive or not expensive?
No, that's really expensive.
You could easily get $150,000 for that. So if you can only getting $30,000, is that expensive or not expensive?
That's very expensive.
It's very expensive. And if you want life insurance, you want the cheaper or expensive kind.
Oh, we want the cheap kind.
Yeah. Now the other thing is with this is that does the IRS ever do us any favors?
No, not that I can think of.
No. But can I show you at least one time they treat us fairly?
Okay.
They think that if you're a good breadwinner or a good family member and you buy life insurance to protect your loved ones if something happens to you, when they pay out that death benefit, again, they want to be fair. So if somebody's taken the action to do that, to protect their family, guess what they say about whether it should be taxed or not taxed, the death benefit?
I think it's not taxed.
They want to be fair, right?
Right.
So 99% of life insurance is not taxed, which is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do?
That's the right thing to do.
Now, if we talk about that 1% of life insurance is taxed, guess what kind that is?
This kind?
This kind. So if you bought life insurance, which again you said you did or didn't want,
Well, don't want.
would you?
You see how I'm having them repeat over and over and over? They didn't want life insurance, but they have life insurance. Then I'm going to have them repeat over and over and over. If you did buy life insurance, you want the expensive or the cheap, and they say the cheap, but you got what? The expensive. And now we're going to say, and if you did want life insurance, you want it taxable or non-taxable? Non-taxable, but you got what? Taxable. I have them say it over and over and over. So how many times now have they told me that this is crap? They told me, I didn't tell them. How many times will they have told me that life insurance the life insurance they have is crappy? Many, many times.
Do you want the taxable kind or the 99% that's not taxable?
I want the 99% that's non-taxable.
Instead, you have the cheap or expensive,
The expensive.
taxable or non-taxable.
Taxable.
But to be honest, did you get into this to lose money?
No, we were hoping to make money.
Yeah. So if we have 311,874 and you have lost no money, how much are you down?
We're not down anything if we didn't lose anything.
Zero. So how much life insurance is there?
None.
None. But what's 311,874 multiplied by 1.5%?
That's the 4,078.
So now you're paying how much?
Well, we're paying $4,000 for zero.
Is that expensive?
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous.
I guess you're not paying tax on it, but
Right.
So, but did you get into it lose money, not make money, or make money?
Make money.
Make money. So what would you think is a good return you could make on that in a year?
I would hope for, in a good year, at least 10%.
10%. So can you do me a favor?
Mm-hmm.
Clear that again with the clear button.
Okay.
And then let's type in 311,874. And we're going to multiply that times 1.11, which is 10%.
346,000.
So 346.
0808.
Perfect. We don't need the cents now.
Okay.
Now, can you multiply that times 1.5%?
Looks like $5,190.
So now, if you made 346, it's gone up. Is there any life insurance involved there?
Not if it went up, no.
No, because 346 minus 346 is what?
Zero.
But now you're paying how much for zero?
5,000.
So is it helping you when you grow?
No, it's actually making it worse.
So I guess it is what it is. You've done okay, haven't you, over the last 10 years?
Yeah, this account's done well the last 10 years.
Right. So I guess I'm wondering, though, were you shown those managers you have are good or not good? They've done what?
I think they're good.
They're good. Were you shown that you could have invested in those exact same money managers? Exact same funds without the life insurance?
No. We weren't shown that.
Because if you had been, would you have bought it with or without the life insurance?
Oh, I would have bought it without.
Because you've had it for how many years?
Oh, over 20.
You've had that over 20 years?
Yeah,
Well, how much money have you spent over the last 20 years?
like $80,000. Yeah, that's a lot.
So, could you have done something else with that $80,000?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, we could have done a lot with that.
Heck, even if you only had it for 5 years, how much would you have spent?
20,000.
Could you have done something with that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So if given a choice between the same managers with or without the insurance, you would have done what?
Oh, I would have done it without.
So where's all this money going?
The company's pocket.
Yeah. So how do you think companies like this life insurance company get investment salespeople to sell this insurance with the money managers instead of, because these,
Again, what did I call their advisor? An investment salesperson. I'm constantly working that into the conversation.
money managers,
Mm-hmm.
most of them are no load. What does no load mean to you? No sales
No
charge.
sales charges, yeah.
So most of these are no sales charges. So how do you think this life insurance company gets people to buy it with the insurance versus buying it without any fees whatsoever? How do you think they get the investment salesman to sell those?
I'm sure they pay him more.
So why do you think, is this something you were aware of?
No, I had no idea.
And if you had, which one would you buy? With insurance, without insurance?
Oh, without insurance.
And why did this happen to you?
Well, they wanted to make more money.
Yeah. To benefit you because...
No. So to line their own pockets.
Right. So something you should know or not know?
Oh, no, I'm glad I know.
Okay. So that 4,078, remember there's three places that this fee's coming from?
Yeah.
That's one of the places. 4,078
Okay.
is coming from that. We're going to talk about these other ones as well,
Okay.
okay? So the next thing we want to talk about is turnover. Now,
So how many times did Jeff tell me then the guy was withheld information to make money off of them? And here's the thing. Again, we have 21 scripts. Remember, the non-financial, 40 minutes, they're saying, my guy, you're a bad advisor, you're a bad advisor. Wait, you're not my advisor. My guy's my bad advisor. Wait a minute, he's the bad advisor in their head. Then they say, my company's bad because they, over the titling. Then they say, my guy doesn't care about me when it comes to beneficiaries. And now with the fees, they're saying, my guy's actually withholding information to make money off of me. And is this where we ended, guys? Or do we have another 7 scripts left where it gets deeper, when it becomes more and more clear, if it ain't already clear, that that guy is withholding information to make money off of them. Do you see the power of these scripts? How often would this script work, guys? The way I did it there, if I in front of somebody with a VA, how many of them are going to keep their VA? How many of them are going to keep their advisor? I only have one person saying 0. Guys, if I did this in front of somebody with a VA, how many of them are going to keep their advisor? None. And remember, I've got how many more scripts left? See, it's one nail after another nail after another nail in the coffin, but am I putting the nail in the coffin? Who's pounding the nails into the coffin? If a client says, and remember, he said it 4 or 5 times there. In fact, over the whole entire thing, he basically made a case probably 20 times that the guy was taking advantage of him. If they tell me 150 times that their guy is taking advantage of them, withholding information, because I ask little questions, sometimes big questions, but they say over and over and over, their guy is withholding information, take advantage of them. How many of them are at the end of that conversation going to say, but I think I'll stay with them? How many people will say that? Yeah, he's screwing me 100 times. But then they say, but I think I'll stay with him. How many? None. That's the power of these scripts. And can that other guy fix it? Can the other guy fix it when they've said 100 times, that guy's screwing me? Can he fix it? No. Can he fix it? If they don't like the VA, can he fix that? Sure. He move him to another product. See, if there's everything else he can fix, the one thing he can't fix is the trust. Does that make sense? That's the power of these scripts. Awesome. You guys have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you all next Monday. Thanks, everybody.